What is good, people? Today I'm going to do a little tutorial, maybe tutorial Tuesdays. Yeah, I think we could do that. We could start doing that. It sounds like a plan. I was just, making the thumbnail for this other video because it's not actually Tuesday, it's actually Saturday. But yeah, we're going to post this on Tuesday. So it's Tuesday for you. I mean, it might not be. You could be watching this and it's 5 years later. We're getting sidetracked already, so this is gonna be a long video, as you can tell. But I'm just gonna show you a quick tutorial as to how I make my thumbnails, and it's really easy. I take a screenshot and then I just go into my screenshots and then I just drag the screenshot in and I drop it in and then I just hit enter and that's it. Then I rasterize the layer and we're already at a good start, right? That's where we are. The first thing I do is I add another layer on top and we just do a little paint bucket, and I'm doing this color. It's, if you want to do the hex, it's 006 lowercase cff, and then I just go ahead and fill that bad boy in there. We're gonna throw that on a soft light, and let's do like a 50% for now. Then I take my eraser, which for whatever reason isn't working because I'm not on the right layer. Make sure and that is super soft, and we're just gonna go ahead and dust off just the areas where we are talking about, like skin and hair color. And see, I messed that up. That's why you don't really want to hold this down too long. You want to click it multiple times, and as you can see in my little history over here, every time I click you get another item. I mean, the history, it loads for a long time depending on what version of Photoshop you have. You should have like a lot of time to your disposal, so or like a lot of actions where you can go back to like almost every single action you make in a single project file. So don't be afraid to click multiple times, because see, right now I'm kind of making that risky move. I'm still holding on to it, and if you're still holding on to it and then all of a sudden you do one of these and you go to undo, it would undo all of that I just did. So yeah, don't hold on to it too long. As we get closer in, I just start making the brush bigger. I mean, I'm just lazy. I could just come up here and change the hardness, but I just don't want to. We can come in and just turn that layer off just to see what we missed. Right. Okay, so now that that's done, I know it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be, and I'll show you why in a second. Just getting the skin tones. That's all I'm trying to do here. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's better that you don't get everything rather than get more. It's better that I have like a little bit of blue on my skin rather than going and getting all this. So when you go and get all that, it's kind of more obvious than the little bit of blue. Because as you zoom out, the little bit of blue will start to disappear. It really will. Let's just tone this down a little bit. It's a little too much. Probably around, we'll do 23, why not? That's a number I like. Yeah, see? Just cools that down a little bit. Now, sometimes if I'm feeling not very lazy, I will even go ahead and do the same thing to the wood. Anything that's like particularly yellow. This, again, not making it perfect, just trying to get the gist. Maybe we'll get the guitar too. It made it blue, but it wasn't crazy. All those yellows and oranges, they kind of get to stay. I mean, I could go ahead and do this if I really wanted to. And it just makes it look nicer. But anyway, moving forward. The next thing I do, I actually do this before that. I actually come into adjustments and do levels and say auto levels, and then I kind of look where that thing was and I move it back to like around in the center, and then just do a little like toggle back and forth and be like, yeah, that's good enough, sure, why not? And then I go to image, adjustments, level. Nope, I just did that. Oops. Image. It takes me forever. I'm uploading the video while I do this to save time, so I'm not just sitting there. And I usually do like 44. No, I'm kidding. I usually do like 20. And then yeah, you can just Control Z and then Control Shift Z to kind of like just look back and forth between those two. And yeah, that shit, why not? That's good enough. I don't really care. Moving forward here, the next thing I do, so we got that, is now I'm gonna fix my eyes. And I would do the same thing if my teeth were being shown. Again, same blue. We're gonna bring this up to approximately the size of my eyeball, and there we go. We just leave it just like that. It looks perfect. And then go ahead and just Then, I mean, sometimes, again, if I'm not feeling lazy, I'll come in and do one of these G blurs, the OG blurs, and then just, you know, dust it off again, just to provide a little bit more of rough edge there. Soft light, and then you can just go ahead and tap your eraser in the center of the eye. And I do that because this right about there, that's actually the color of my eyes, not that. My eyes are not gray, they're blue. So I do that because I think that looks a little bit nicer just off the bat. If we go ahead and we, oops, that's downloads, screenshots. If we just drag that original file back in, as you can see, we have the OG file and what we just did to it. So just, you know, getting somewhere, okay? We'll just keep that there for safekeeping. Now we can go ahead and we can actually just convert all this to smart object. I don't know why I do it that way instead of just saying merge, but I do. I just convert it to a smart object and then rasterize it. I suppose I could just have all these and just say merge layers, but you know, who cares? Take the top layer, I go to filter, I go to my G blur, but I gotta do it down here, right there. And then I just erase my dude. I haven't left this chair in like 4 hours, so I am kind of rushing it just a little bit, but that's honestly like really good, to be honest. Like, honestly, it's good to be honest. It is, honestly, it is good to be honest, guys. It's good to be honest. So yeah, now that that's done, then we go ahead and we do our little convert to smart object again, and then we go ahead and here is the test. Well, actually, we're gonna do a little bit of a size up. I try to make it a little bit bigger, just because I want my face to be really big, and this is where we get into the fact of what I was talking about earlier, where it doesn't really freaking matter. I also try to center myself a little bit more, depending on whether or not I'm gonna have text. And for this one, I'm not gonna have text. No, I won't have text. Yeah, no, I will. Dear musicians. You can also just put your mouse over top. I don't really like doing that because I stopped scrolling a minute ago, and it's still going. It's just like, no, wait, I wanted you. Oh, and it's gone. It's nothing. It's nothing, guys. Yeah, no. So let's do like 150. And now to give it a little bit more pop, what you can do is convert that to a smart object, and then go into effects and say outer glow. That's one way to do it. I don't like doing it that way because honestly I feel like it takes more time. I literally just alt arrow to the side and then invert that, and then rasterize it, and then bring it behind it, and then literally just like shift arrow like that, and then do that again. I just don't use the other section nearly as much as this, so this just ends up giving me more control over what I'm doing, until I literally have like freaking like 5 pixels. I guessed right, wow, 5 pixels on each side. So this is gonna go up 1, which means this is gonna go down 1. Sure, that looks good enough. I don't really care, honestly. And then I could literally just go to convert to smart object, and then just go to filter and throw on my bad boy blur that I use all the time. You see how quick that was? I don't know, that just seems a lot quicker. I just don't use this. I just don't like ever use anything in there. Just haven't watched enough tutorials on it, to be honest. And then just go ahead and convert this all to a smart object. I converted a lot of things to smart objects. I don't know why it's deciding to make it the entire project file, perspective, ratio, whatever you want to call it. Just make it fit in the screen a little bit better. Keep hitting that command 0 to like give it that full screen size. But then I come over to my percentage. If that doesn't pop up, you need your navigator, which means you got to go to window and then pull up your navigator. And once you got your navigator pulled up over on this side, there are 2 percentages depending on the screen that you're using to work on. Yeah, these are the percentages that I use personally. I use 9%, and as you can see, again, depending on the screen you're watching this on, I'm currently on a 27-inch monitor, and the distance away from the computer monitor and the size of the monitor that all plays a role. So theoretically, I came up with this 9% here because if I go on YouTube right now on my cell phone and I hold the phone away from my face at a comfortable ratio, it is the same size. This is how big it looks like. But go look at another video thumbnail. That's how big it looks to me right now. If I were to go on the home page, right, like my dashboard of YouTube, it would be 20%. That's how big it is. That is right now, that is the width of my cell phone screen. Again, due to the size of the computer monitor I'm using, all I did is just hold my phone up to the screen with YouTube open and then find what percentage is closest to that. And that's what I look at it to judge whether or not it's good enough, because that is like the only sizes it ever pops up on. So if it looks good at 9% and you can read that, I can clearly read Dear Musicians, and I cannot tell how cheesy and awful that fuzz glow, outer glow is. And even at 20%, you know, that outer glow is very subtle. It doesn't look like that, right? I can't tell that it's thicker on the I than it is around the A, right? I can at this percentage, I can here, right? The thickness right there is a lot, but if I were to come back to my 9%, it's like nothing. So there you have it. That is how I do it. Then we just get that bad boy out. 2020 log, thumb, JPEG, replace, because I don't need to save every single thumbnail. And there you have it. Ta-da! Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, watch these videos over here, and subscribe up over here. This is the person that wrote the music. Thanks for watching. Peace.